I'm Bryn Bruner of MindSpark Branding. People come to me because they're struggling with their messaging. Often it's a case of trying to describe what's always felt indescribable. And this language dilemma tends to fall into three different buckets. One, I do a whole bunch of different things and I cannot figure out how to fit them all under one umbrella, which makes it really hard to tell people what I do or build a brand that feels consistent. Two, most people understand the general field that I'm in, but they do it with a unique twist that's really hard to describe, so I tend to go belly up. The problem with that is that unique twist is the thing that makes me stand out, so I end up leaving the best of me behind. And number three, the work that I do is so out there, so complex or high concept that it takes me forever to try to explain it to somebody, and I get so excited about it that I don't even know that I'm vomiting words all over folks. So much so that they don't even hear me anymore, let alone understand me. All of those things are real obstacles when you're trying to figure out your messaging. While a lot of business leaders, entrepreneurs, and founders struggle to find the right words, there's one type of person who has an even heavier lift. To start with, we really don't even have a good word to describe them. You may have heard of someone who defines himself as multi-passionate or multi-talented. That's not who I'm talking about. You might have also heard of someone who is a jack of all trades, a generalist instead of a specialist. Even those words aren't right. Polymath gets a lot closer, but most people aren't familiar with that word. The official definition of a polymath is someone who has almost encyclopedic knowledge in several fields, a scholar of multiple subjects. What I've come to understand is that people with a polymathic mind, or a polymind as I'm calling it, see the world in an entirely unique way. They're not after knowledge for the sake of having knowledge, but to satisfy their own curiosity. They're wicked smart, passionate learners. They're visionaries, business leaders, entrepreneurs, artists, scientists, builders, chefs, poets, writers, anything. It's not what they do, it's how they do it. Polyminds are bringing multiple perspectives, multiple viewpoints to everything they do, and it's all operating simultaneously and continuously, and they're all driven by curiosity. So today, what I've got for you are the 5 super skills of a polymind. Number 1, they are super seers. Polyminds see the forest and the trees. It's like they've got a built-in periscope function and can zoom up to see the big picture and then zoom back down to see the details. The pain point around this is a polymind often has no idea that they're doing this, so they can't put it into words. The second super skill is that polyminds are super learners. They go hard into whatever subject spikes their curiosity and build deep pockets of experience, almost like a mini PhD. But when they master one thing, they get bored and then they're off to the next, making what looks from the outside like crazy career leaps, from linguistics to tech design to dress design, for example, or mathematics to baking. The pain point here is that a polymind sees their quote-unquote normal peers progress through their careers. They can be racked with self-doubt, especially when they're younger, thinking, what's the matter with me? Why can't I just pick something? But when they start to see what they can do with this unique perspective, how they can put it to work for their companies, their employees, their customers, their clients, things start to change. And they start to see the unique and truly valuable impact that they can make. Number 3, they're super synthesizers. Polyminds play where ideas intersect. Think Venn diagrams and where all those circles overlap. And because a polymind has multiple interests, there's a lot of circles on that diagram. This lets a polymind access many points of intersection, which means many ideas. The dots are always connecting. The difficulty here is it can be really hard to keep up with them. And honestly, it's hard to keep up with ourselves too. Number 4, polyminds are super translators. Polyminds are multilingual, and here I'm defining language very broadly. It could be French or Finnish, but it could also be music or mathematics, quantum physics or technology. Your first language might be color and energetics, for example, or metaphor, like me. These multiple points of reference let polyminds see both and connections and make flying leaps from one discipline or area of relevance to another. Just like the Rosetta Stone, the key to unlocking multiple languages, a Polymind's multilingual, multi-channel experience of life lets us get other people's quote-unquote languages and bring them with us into new possibilities. Having said that, words are often a struggle for all of us, and Polyminds get stuck in jargon just like everyone else. The difficulty around this is it's so easy for a Polymind to just disappear into the zone. They go into flow state. They can't remember what they said or what happened or what they did. It just all feels so good and they're inside it. And that makes it hard to design a process that they can create that flow state reliably and then charge for it. And finally, number 5, they're super detectors. Polyminds are gifted at spotting a through line in complex projects. That simulcast, multi-perspective lens lets them grasp what's needed, how to get there, and what the steps or sequencing needs to be. Like all the other super skills, until you can put your finger on it and witness it and find the words to what you're doing, it's really hard to describe it and charge for it. I hope this has helped you see that if you're a Polymind, it's not something wrong that you've got to fix. It's not an accident. You don't have to fix it to fit in. And maybe fitting in isn't the point. In fact, what if how you're weird is actually how you're wired? What if this journey to find the right words to get your messaging right actually involves seeing your own treasure, seeing in tangible ways how you're a gift and an asset to your team, your employees, your customers, your clients? The trick is moving that treasure that's literally been hiding in plain sight out where you can see it too. The golden thread that I've mastered is seeing yours. It's almost always invisible with all my clients, not just the Polyminds. People tend to focus on expertise and skills, but what if it's bigger than that? What if who you are and how you see the world is actually your most valuable asset? The truth is, until you can own it and claim it and translate your unique abilities into tangible results for your customers and language that means something to them, that treasure stays buried. It's the kind of thing that you start to see in the quiet. It'll come as a series of epiphanies, like, oh, and then, oh, and then the big one, oh. And if all of this is still hiding from you, come see me. We'll find it together.